Live.
All right. Good morning. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Friday. My name is Tisha. I am one of the hosts of Casual Convo Friday. And with me, oops, wrong way, is Nate Flood out of Rome, Georgia. And this, everybody, we're going down is our season finale. Nate, I'm going to give you just like a pat on the back.
No, thanks.
A pat on the back, because for 1 year we have been doing this Casual Convo Friday, and it's been quite the experience. It's been quite the journey. And even in the green room today, we were talking about just this journey that we've had together, how we started it, why we started it, and then we were talking even about the amazing guests that we have just had the privilege of interviewing all throughout this year. And this happened, Nate, this happened truly because of COVID. I like to say that it was a way for us to collaborate and do something creative and unique. And we both didn't have live streams at the time. And we're like, why the heck not? This is a great opportunity to be able to do that.
Yeah, that was about how we planned it too.
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of like a fly by the seat of our pants moment. And I want to credit Nate Payo. He was our guest a couple of weeks ago, and he talked about this whole concept of being a super connector and reaching out to people that you're like, I have nothing in common with this person, but there's got to be some synergy or some collaboration in there somewhere. And that's actually how Nate and I started. So a little story for you guys. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. I post quite a bit. And hey, to all the people on Facebook that are joining us, if you have questions or hey, just want to say hello, drop it in the chat. Nate and I are just having a fun memory lane trip today as our season finale. This is our last show until we come back on March 26th. Both of us will kind of be on a hiatus for the next month. I'll actually be putting my butt in the sand in Cancun and just relaxing. So we're taking this time today to just reflect on the last year of our lives doing this Casual Convo Friday together. But as I was sharing, Nate and I really have nothing in common except that we're entrepreneurs. I live in Arizona. He lives in Rome, Georgia. I was actively posting on LinkedIn and he was commenting. And then we took it. It's always really good to take that online relationship offline, take it into real life. And as we were talking in real life, we're like, how do we collaborate? How does a girl in Arizona and a guy out of Georgia end up connecting when we've never really even met? And lo and behold, Casual Convo Friday was birthed.
You make it sound like it was so predetermined.
I know, right? Hey, thanks so much, Scott. I appreciate that. I'm off the grid, just so you guys know. Like, come March, done. Off the grid until I come back the 22nd. But yeah, go ahead, Nate. You were saying, like, what's this whole journey been for you? I'm excited to hear what you have to say about it.
The biggest reason I reached out to you before was I was looking for somebody who was active on LinkedIn, and I come across some posts that you were doing, and you brought it up before a few times where I think you were getting ready for like a Spartan race or something like that, right? And you were learning to do pull-ups and dips and stuff, and I gave you the advice of a fat army guy, one of the bigger dudes in the army, not no little small soaking wet 130 pounder. I was always one of the bigger ones, and so dips and pull-ups not really my thing. You want me to do squats and rucking all day? I got it. But
yeah.
So I gave you some tips on how to build that up, and we just kind of took it from there. Turned into a live stream.
There you go. Isn't it funny? It came from Spartan races and pull-ups and all that good stuff into, hey, let's launch this. Let's see where this goes. This will be fun.
Oh yeah.
This will be fun. Yeah. And truthfully, guys, we started this on just let's just do it. We always talk about that. Don't let the fear get in the way of you starting something. Don't let the fear. I mean, when Nate and I did this, we didn't have this fancy yellow banner. My technology was pure crap.
I mean, did you make it through the first 3 episodes? I can't remember.
I certainly did not. I was like, Nate, I hope you're there. I hope you're caring. Like, tech problems, TJ, I can name TJ, Todd, the people that we were on with, and I'm like, peace out. Oh, Misty, Cortez, I can remember that. I'm like, I can't hear anything. And I remember just trying to watch it on my phone, and So Nate's had to carry a lot of conversations, which I will say it's been so refreshing, relieving for me to have a partner that carries the load, and that's what, to me, like a whole collaboration partnership is. When you are doing something with another person, it's, hey, can you carry me if I can't? And there's been times where Nate's like, my allergies and my dog. And I'm like, enough said. All right, I will take over the lead. So, and then there's days, when you're doing a live stream where you're just like, it's just not working. Text gone, people didn't show. Like, it is what it is. So it's been quite the experience, is in my point of view.
It has, but I to touch base on that too. Also, I would say that if you really struggle with the idea of doing it on your own, find a partner, because I think that was one thing that me and you could split stuff up. I could handle the backstage producing and stuff like that, and you've handled booking guests, and that's you playing off your strengths, me playing off mine, and we've been able to split that instead of us both trying to do that whole thing on our own. And I don't think either one of us would have done it as well. I know you do a lot more live stuff than I do, obviously, but I think doing this as having a partner has helped quite a bit, like you were saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's made my life easier. I'll say that.
You're like, can you come produce my other ones?
I know. Hey, I'm hiring you. Come produce Tisha Talks for me. Yeah, it's a lot. When you guys enter into live stream world, there are a lot of components to it. Like Nate said, there's booking guests, there's following through with the guests, there's seeing that they have everything that, that you're prepared when you actually jump on a live and are ready to interview them. There's technology that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. There's, promoting the guests. There's a lot of little steps that are taking place when producing any kind of a live stream.
Oh yeah.
So,
I mean, we probably put in a good few hours a week on this, right?
Yeah, I would say. But I will say this: my favorite part, my little break on the Friday morning, is jumping in, being with you, being with our guests, and just having a good time and laughing and learning. I always learn something. I've always learned something as a result of this Casual Convo Friday.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, we've had several guests come on here. It's been great. We've learned something new every week. Every guest has brought something new. Even guests that personality wise, I may not be their favorite person to work with, because we just have opposite, polar opposites. But I've still managed to learn something from every one of them. I would love to hear some of your favorite nuggets of wisdom or little tips you've learned, things of that nature over the past year. Because I think a lot of people like to let's pick up on that.
Sure. And I'm just going to say this, that if you are new to Casual Convo Friday, you're like, who are these people? Nate has done this brilliant thing above our heads that says #Casual Convo Friday. And if you are on LinkedIn and you want to see all of the things we've done over the last year, it's at that hashtag. Brilliant. So all of the clips, all of the live streams, everything we've done, Casual Convo Friday. It's also on YouTube, on my YouTube channel at bit.ly/Tisha on YouTube. You can find it in our Casual Convo Friday. So Nate asked a really great question of what have I learned? What are some of those guests? Who are some of the guests? Not what, but who are some of those guests that we've had on Casual Convo Friday in the past who something they said really sparked something in me. And every single one of our guests has given us value. Every single one of them has come on here and provided some words of wisdom and some nuggets for guests, for our audience to take away. But I will say that the things that really made a difference for me, Melanie Ake, Everyday Leaders, fantastic personality, loved her. Nate, I think you were off on vacation or something when I interviewed her. But one thing she said that was just such a great reminder, especially as a lot of us are venturing into new things, is all the tools are right in front of you. You already have what you need, and you do. And you can always learn and you can always grow and you can always add more tools to your toolbox, but you do have what you need to get started. So just start. That was the one big thing that I'm always reminded of, that because I work with so many people in that startup space of you have what you have. Get going. Like, don't make that as an excuse as to why you never start. And then the other thing, and this, shout out to Todd Westra for calling me out on my BS in a polite manner. But he really got me to think big picture, because I mean, I even said this. I posted something today with Michael Lee, and you saw that, Nate, where I was like, are you thinking or playing too small? And I'm absolutely guilty of that. I'm guilty of, okay, if I just stay here, if I just do this, like, but I'm really thinking as I move into second quarter of big picture. I need these people, these processes, these tools, because without those things, it won't get done, and it won't get done efficiently, effectively. It won't help me move forward. It won't help me level up. Like that's what I'm excited about, of moving into this next quarter and having those things ready to go. And so, but several guests have said some great things. And now to you, what do you think?
Now to me.
Who are the people that we've interviewed that you're like, oh my gosh, like awesome?
I mean, I always take something away from everybody. There, you know, we generally are looking for that little golden nugget of wisdom to put out there for our posts and stuff. But Gary Sanchez with the Y Institute, he had a real good interview with us. You know, a lot of times, like me and you were talking in the green room, I read books and listen to podcasts and things like that, not to really learn, but to kind of reiterate things that I know or get a different perspective and stuff like that. And I loved it when he started taking me through how he works with a client and getting that why, like, why are you doing something? Because like in my head, I know it, but I wasn't necessarily always looking at it from the point of a customer. And he kind of took me down a journey of how is a customer looking at my why, you know, like, you know, why are you doing the things that you do? Why do you do the services that you do? Things of that nature. And so that actually opened up the door for us to go take our marketing down another path, and our marketing slowly starting to work right now and stuff like that. It's something we've never really invested a lot before, because we were always word of mouth and referral, because it's such a big thing. Like we have to really, there's always several conversations before we even get to start talking about actually moving forward, right? And normally in our business, but yeah, we've got different strategies going on right now. We're taking them a piece at a time, and we're answering that question of why, and it's starting to work, starting to take off. So that was one that stuck with me. And then also our one of our most recent guests, Michael Lee. I love what he had to say about remote work. You know, I asked him the question of how do you sell remote work to your employees? How do you sell it to your staff? Because, you know, some people are not going to like it. And for us, it was always a matter of, hey, we're doing this to help you out with your work day, because all we care about is you providing good work and getting tasks done. We didn't really, you know, so you can work whatever schedule you want, and it's going to help keep our costs low. That enables you to have higher salaries, things of that nature. And so we just looked at it always as just strictly a business standpoint. He brought up a lot of, you know, personal standpoints that you can sell them on as well. Benefits like mentally, like how it could not be that drag of a 9-to-5 typical day, or they don't have to be in traffic all the time and all that stuff. So he brought up a lot of great points, and that one really stuck, because obviously we're a completely remote company.
Right.
You know, we just recently got a studio for our second company, but other than that, we're all scattered to the four winds, working every time zone there is. You know, that's us. So those two hit home with me the most, because those were two things that I was actively working on, and I think that's why they resonated so much.
Right. Yeah. And I was not on with Gary. Why? Do you remember why was I not on with Gary?
Why was you not on with Gary? I can't remember.
My internet was shot.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Nate, the correct answer is always Tish's internet was shot.
I was like, what kind of trick question you hit me with? And you did. You hit me with the
It was not my fault. I was at my co-working space, and it didn't have the internet, and so I had to watch it from the sidelines and just, like, you know, check the LinkedIn comments on my phone. But
yeah. I remember that now.
Those are some great ones. And to piggyback on that, like, let's talk about that a little bit. The why, as you mentioned, Nate, is so important, because it really does attract the right types of clients your way too. Once you figure out why you do the things that you do. Why do you do the things you do? Like for me, I've always said I'm a contribute. That's my why. And I think that just shows the value that I bring when I'm working with clients of I really am invested in your success, and we do this together. So you know that I have definitely a hands-on approach to working with clients. Like I'm checking in with them and we're getting things done and we're moving things forward. And, I have a lot of clients where, I do a lot in personal branding, as you know, and people get scared. It's scared to build a personal brand. It's scared to put yourself out there and be vulnerable and transparent. And does this logo suit me, and so on, and whatever it is. And it's just they need that extra. Yes, you're doing good. Like we're good. We're on the right path. And I think that's always going to be that contributing, nurturing, part of me. And that's why it's my why. It's how I'm wired.
No, definitely. I mean, that was one of the reasons. I mean, you know this from us first starting this show. My whole thing was my normal sales routes and my normal growth routes were working okay, but we wanted to expand. Yeah. And, I told you I was in a bubble socially because, one, I work remotely. Number two, the only time I talk to people is when we're talking business. Yeah. And everybody on my LinkedIn profile that I was connected with at the time, they didn't do anything. They weren't active. Every once in a while they'll message you happy birthday if it's your birthday or whatever. But other than that, they weren't very active. And so I was like, look, I'm just going to go completely off the East Coast away from Georgia. And I would love to just, take advantage of your social abilities and let's just do the show together. And it sprouted out. And like I said, every guest has brought something to the table for me personally. There's just too many to list in 30 minutes, but but I think overall it's been great. And a perfect example to go back to Gary was before I was always preaching like, hey, we'll help you save money, we'll help you reduce costs, we'll improve your security. But the problem is those things weren't resonating with people. Yeah. So it was like, why should they? So what he got me to like thinking was like, why should they care about those things? So it's answering the same question, but in a different perspective, if that makes sense. Sure. And I think that's what a lot of people have brought to the show is just different perspectives on the same things for us, if that makes sense. And everybody else watch it too, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that. And it's that big difference too of what are the features that you keep telling your clients and what are the actual benefits that you bring to the table. If you're like, we cut your costs, okay, is that really the most important thing to me? Yeah. Or is it that we're all connected and we're, we have more sanity?
No, absolutely.
You're working off Slack. I'm working off Microsoft Teams. You're over on some other platform. Like, how do we integrate and work together as a team versus being all over the place? And that's honestly what you bring to the table is your time back, of course, but it's keeping them connected. Oh, yeah. That's the way I look at it. Yeah.
No, absolutely. And like you were saying about Todd, he helped you get over that hump of trying to do everything yourself all the time and just being a hustler. It's because I know that one was a hard one for me too. Eventually, in the beginning, right? Like it was always like I don't even have the time to let somebody take stuff over. Like that took me a while. That took me years because like I would go through and try to bring people on and it wouldn't work out. And I finally just got frustrated with it, and I was just like, whatever. But then I changed the way I hired people. I started poaching people from other companies instead of doing hiring boards. I'd work with these people on another project, and they would be great. And I'd be like, well, if they're doing well and they don't realize that I'm looking at them, chances are they're probably going to be pretty good employees. So that's what I started doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know what it's like to try to put that trust on somebody else. And especially you don't know what their schedule is going to be like versus what your expectation is.
Yeah, I think for me, I had already gone in the route of hiring people to do some things for me, but you're right. Like I have to know that they have the certain skill set that I'm looking for. And if I have to teach it and I'm even not that great at it, but I do it, then there's a problem. There's a big problem there. Like now I'm taking time to train you, which I'm getting paid for, which I'm getting paid for, which I'm paying for.
Yeah.
And then, you're doing it, but you're at that amateur level. And I think that's where Todd, I felt called me out a little bit, even though he didn't do it intentionally. I was like, damn it. Oh no, here we go. Okay. That's why I was like,
No, we've had several people come on, and they're actually excellent salespeople. They probably just don't know it. They've managed to strike those nerves. I mean, I've seen it in both of our faces. Like when I've asked a question and somebody gave me an answer I wasn't expecting, I was just like, well, that one kind of stung, but I mean, it's true, so I'm going with it.
Yeah. But let's talk about that a little bit. Sometimes you've got to be told the truth. Actually, no, you should always be told the truth. I mean, but I don't subscribe, and I know Nate, you don't either. But this whole sweet tea thing, I know, but I don't. The whole sugar coating, I can't do it. I won't do it. I
Yeah.
won't do it for people. If you ask me for my honest opinion, I'm not going to be like, well,
Yeah.
it's okay. I'm going to be like, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. Or no, if you're asking me my honest opinion, I don't like it this way. Or, we've got to fix this. So I agree with that. I think that honesty, always be honest.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, definitely. And I mean, it's hard sometimes. I've been honest with people about their businesses before, their organization, because I mean, the first step that we do is we do an audit.
Yep.
And that's always a touch and go subject for some companies. There's been some very very good companies that they're very proud. They've been in business 30 years, and they just don't understand why their way is not going to work anymore. And I can totally get it. Like, I wouldn't want somebody coming in and telling me after I've been doing it for 30 years. I don't like people coming in and telling me how to do things now. So I totally get it. So that's always a touchy subject. But at the end of the day, they're not paying me to be nice. They're paying me to tell them how we can fix their problems.
Exactly.
Sometimes I just need to work on my delivery a little bit, not be as just crass about it.
I had a business partner before, and she's actually my best friend, and she knows this about herself. But we would go into business meetings, and even though she didn't say anything, her face was just like, are you freaking joking me right now?
Uh-huh.
And I always had to just smack her, stop it, stop it, because I'm like, your face says a lot.
Uh-huh.
So Nate, I'm going to challenge you to just smile, even though you don't agree. Just smile through it and then say, well, okay, thank you for that. But if you go in with this just like, holy crap, you people are stupid. It's not going to go over well.
I've never gone in with like, when I see people's systems that need to be overhauled or whatever, right? Like, I've never gone in with they're stupid. I will assess whether or not they're stupid based off of their outlook on it. Like, because there's a lot of people that's like, hey, we're changing out leadership. It's been the same way for 30 years. We're looking to grow. Like, that's a great mindset. Like, hey, we can work with that. Doesn't matter how bad it is. I mean, we literally moved people out of paper into the digital age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there's still companies we're working with right now who are doing timesheets on paper.
Wow.
That's just it. But we're helping them along, and that's perfectly fine. Mine, the ones where I have the problem with is the people who try to tell me how my job is supposed to be. That's always a tough one. And I'm like, look, if you know what you're doing, I don't think we're the right people for you. And I just kind of kindly excuse myself from the meeting.
Yeah, you have to. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to this lovely lady, Annie Lieb out of Pennsylvania. Hello, Tisha. So glad I caught this, Annie. Thanks so much. I'm actually going to be on Annie's live stream next Tuesday on Annietude. Yeah, so that's coming up 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on her page. And then just saying hello to Timothy and Scott, who are also joining us from LinkedIn as well. This has been such a good conversation. I like that we're just reflecting. Yeah. And can I just say, Nate, that I think that every business needs to do that. Every business, every partnership, you guys just need that time to let's just chat. What did we learn? What can we do better? Where do we improve? What were good things? What were things that you're like, Tisha? I mean, Nate, you've said it. You're like, you need to change that internet that you've got.
It's been a lot better than you have.
I know. I see, because it's hardwired.
Uh-huh.
It's blazing speeds, but you're right. But you have to call people out a little bit. You have to say, hey, in order for this to get better, like I took a week and a half hiatus, Nate. You saw that off of my own live stream because I'm like, it's not working for me. I need to fix this first before I do it again. So, hey, Nidal, good to see you. He says, hello, Tisha and Nate. Nidal's out of New York. Out of New York. Did you get your air fryer, Nidal? We were talking about that the other day.
Is that right?
Yeah, I was telling him, I was recommending to him that the air fryer is something he and his wife would love. Do you have an air fryer, Nate? Get one
I
of
do
those.
not. I have been mastering my mother's fried chicken recipe in an iron skillet.
Ooh, okay, all right.
It's gotten better. It's taken me about 10 tries, but it's gotten better, and my wife's actually eating it. Anybody that knows my wife knows that is a huge win because she does not like my chicken cooking whatsoever. She believes in meat being dry, and I'm like, I like it juicy, and yeah, it's always a war to make the chicken edible for her.
Oh my goodness. It's funny you're talking about chicken because that's what we were talking about on my live stream. So this is the thing, guys, with live, anything goes. Dogs barking, oven beeping, kids in the background, dogs coming in, Nate's allergies going crazy, all of that stuff. And so the other day I was doing my live stream, Nate, and my oven was beeping, but I was in the middle of interviewing a guest, and I was like, the chicken's burning. And I was like, guys, I gotta cut this live because my chicken's beeping. And they could hear it. You could hear the beeping every couple seconds, because it's like, it's time to get the chicken out. Yeah. And I had to, of course, share with everybody. I'm like, chicken turned out good. I think the extra minutes did it good.
I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. No. I mean, yeah, I've had the dog come in here. I've told you, like, with the allergies and stuff, I feel like I'm reversed back into adolescence because growing up, I never had any issues with anything. I used to be able, hey, wrestle with dogs, whatever, nothing. All of a sudden, when I hit 30, it's like, no, this is the funny life joke that's going to go on. You're going to have all the problems that normal teenagers have in your 30s. I was like, all right.
Oh my gosh. You and me both, buddy. I had to go get my nasal spray today for the first time. I had to call my doctor. I'm like, give me those allergy pills or those allergy sprays. Oh, Nidal, look at this. I'm going to share this with you. Dial it down. I'm sitting next to my wife. I am assuming, Nidal, but by that comment, that you probably are the one that does most of the cooking, I'm guessing. So, Nate, you'll have to pass along your famous skillet fried chicken recipe over to Nidal. I said we'd help him in the recipe department.
You just cut the chicken up to desired size, dip it in ranch, and then put it in flour and salt and pepper it.
Woo! That sounds like I'll be doing more pull-ups at the gym.
I mean, that's probably something I should prescribe to, but I'm not right now.
Oh, funny. So what do you envision, Nate? Okay, so we've got 1 year under our belts. What do you envision for this next year? I always like to say, what are we going towards? What are we going to be doing next year? What do you see for this Casual Convo Friday?
Well, it depends on if you're re-upping your contract for this next year or not. That's the first question.
Are the personalities re-upping their contracts? Or is Nidal coming on board and showing us how to do a mean dishwashing?
There you go. Honestly, I think something that we'll probably wind up doing that I can see us doing is looking for more ways to bring the audience into the conversation a little bit better. I know it's kind of always been, our format is we to be transparent, we get a few questions from the guests that we can talk to them about, and then from there, if something comes in from the gallery, we get to talking about it, and that's about it. Yeah. But I would definitely love for us to figure out ways we could get the audience in, because at the end of the day, I would love for them to get their questions answered more so than ours, because either way we're going to learn. But I think that would be a good thing to work on for us.
So I want to bring this up. So you guys are kind of watching a behind the scenes meeting going on, a meeting of the minds. So there was a really cool thing that another live stream did. And Annie, if you're still on, I'd love your input because she does a lot of live streams too. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we just have the one guest, or Nate and I are talking, but I did see this before, and it was almost like an open invite of, here's our guest. If you would like to be part of this conversation and you want to actually jump into the live stream, here's the link. But you don't actually put them into the green room with you, or they're in the green room, Nate. They're just in the green room, but you can have them come in. You can remove them from the stream. It's a lot more technical work, but people are able to ask their questions live, with the guests versus using the chat. Because you do find a lot of people who are they're checking in. Maybe they don't have questions, but they're just like, hey, and then they're like, oh, I should have asked that question. Like the person was right there. So it does kind of give it more of a feel of live audience-ish, like, hey, like I've always wanted to meet Ellen DeGeneres. And now she goes into the audience and she's like, hey, you've got a question. Like, it's kind of like making it a virtual live talk show with an audience where you're like, hey, Nidal's in the green room. Hey, let's bring Nidal on up. Nidal, ask your question. Like, it'd be interesting to see how that works out if we are actively giving people the floor on StreamYard, and giving them a chance to private chat with us of, hey, I have a question, and we bring them in. I don't know, just to brainstorm,
No, I think that would be great. I think also it might not be a bad segment to do maybe once a month where we have a guest on so that they can actually ask the audience questions about stuff they're trying to figure out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like kind of reverse the script completely.
Ooh, that's good. I like
can be the first guinea pig for that. People can tear me in there whenever you're right.
So we put you in the hot seat, and then the people can ask you all the questions. So you it's kind of like bringing it back to speaking engagements, live panel-ish is the way I look at it. Like, okay, ask the guest anything that you like.
Sure. Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking?
Well, that, or it could be something like, so if I was the guest, I could be like, hey, look, everybody, I'm experiencing this, and I don't have a clue what to do. So what do y'all think? And just present my scenario and let them throw out ideas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just an idea. I'm just spitballing, trying to liven things up a little bit.
Liven it up. Nidal's asking, is there new projects for the new year? Great question, Nidal. Rather than this amazing show.
I mean, I know for us personally, we are looking to generate a roadmap or a journey map, if you will, for our clients. That's one of our next big projects. We want to lay out for them and all of our prospective clients as well, like, hey, this is what you can expect for your first year of working with us. That's something that we're all heavily invested with over here, because we feel that will lend to them, like, hey, they can understand the process of us what we're going through, what's coming down the pipe. And it's kind of like a reiteration from what Microsoft has given us in terms of what's coming along. And so, that's one of the big things that I've got going on project-wise. What about you, Tisha?
Well, you guys know I just finished my real estate classes. So, Nate, you remember back in January, I was like, I'm taking my real estate class, and you're like, okay. But I see a much bigger picture because of that, and I'm so happy. 90 hours is behind me. Now it's pure testing. And so taking the first test on Monday, fingers crossed, then taking the next test right before I leave for Cancun. And then really just like I said, I took this time in first quarter to really dial in and focus, and to really just trust the process, because I know that I have to do the foundational work. I have to do the work first before I can get there. So April is coming around, and I'm looking at starting another company aside from what I'm already doing, more directed at personal branding for realtors, while also doing some real estate on the side, but really honing in on that's a niche, and that's what I want to be able to help people with. And I had a great guest on my show yesterday, Jordan Mendoza, Nate, who talked about being a practitioner of what you do, and I believe in that so wholeheartedly. I was like, you have to practice what you preach. You have to be your own evidence, your own social proof. Like if I went to you, Nate, and I said, hey, so you use Microsoft and you work off PCs, and you're like, no, I work off Apple. I'd be like, why would I go to you? I don't get it. I don't really understand why I would hire you if you don't even believe in what you do.
Oh yeah.
So part of the reason for me getting my license was to prove that I can do this too. Watch what I'm about to do in my own Tisha way that then I can teach you how to do too. And so that was the whole big thinking behind it. So getting ready to go on vacation, get started. Go on vacation, clear my head, unplug, get started. Get started with it.
Yeah. I think we got a pretty good question here, by the way.
Oh, yeah. What's our question? Oh, you took the controls. That's right.
Yeah. I was just letting you run with it earlier.
I know I didn't see a private chat saying, hey, stop with those controls. Okay, so Nidal said, from a year of live streams and as I have my own, what was the hardest stuff you faced? Nate?
The hardest stuff, I'm assuming he's asking about this show. I think the hardest thing is for me to keep it scheduled in, to be quite honest. Just because we're both entrepreneurs, there's been times where we both had to say, hey, we got to take advantage of an opportunity or whatever the case may be, or I'm overworked or I'm out of town on a project. We both had instances where the other had to carry the load as we were talking earlier. And that was probably, to me, the most challenging thing. Not that I don't have a great schedule, but it's always filled. It's always filled. Like every single day is filled. So just making sure that I kept this carved out, because like I told you before, an hour of time for me is very, very valuable, like it is for most people who are busy. So that was my biggest challenge with it.
Yeah, and to answer that too, Nidal, I would say challenges for me were just, again, not having the proper tool, and I say that just from internet crap experiences and technology. And as Nate and I were talking about earlier, what's been really good is that the two of us can carry each other. Nate can't do it, okay, I'll jump in. I can't do it, okay, we can get a co-host. Gary Rogers has been a great help to this show because he jumps in sometimes last minute and acts as one of us, so we're not having to do it all together or on our own. So that's been good. But I think Nate, you and I have shown that we're both capable people, that if I can't be there, you can be there, and vice versa. And that was, and just to be honest, Nidal, I think it's okay too to take a break if you need it, and Nate and I, this is why we've gone on to say that this is our season finale, our rehash, because I'm taking off. I'm right in the middle of testing. And so my head's in a different space, and Nate is,
project heavy right now.
Project heavy. and to be okay with saying, you know what, folks, we're going to take a little break. We'll be coming back bigger, stronger, coming back on this date. And that's okay. Sometimes, shows do that all the time. I know I've been waiting 4 months to watch an episode of some of the things I want to watch.
Is that right?
They've been on a break, and that's okay. You need to schedule that time. And to Nate's point, I think scheduling your priority. If this is a priority, it's got to be put in your schedule. You can't just. The one thing that I will say Nate and I have done very consistently is we've shown up. Like every single Friday, like clockwork, unless we've had major tech issues. I've shown up, he's shown up, whatever. No matter who's watching, we're always there. And I've always said that even with my own live stream, I'm going to show up even if it's just me talking to me, because it's my priority. And that's what you do when you're being consistent. It cannot be, well, today we feel like doing Casual Convo Tuesday, and maybe in a week we'll do Casual Convo Saturday, and we don't give you guys any idea of when we're going to show. So if you can always put that in your head of, you're showing up for you, always show up.
Yeah. No, that was one reason why I brought it up as being the challenge, is because the hardest thing I think for everybody, including myself, I'm not acting like I'm special, is making it consistent, so that people know, well, if I take time out to watch you today and you're not there, well, that's kind of a bummer. Or if, again, we've worked through our technical issues, but if you're consistently 4 weeks straight, you can't go live because you're experiencing technical issues. And so you've done one show, you took a long break, and then you try to do another show. No one's going to watch it. No one's going to tune in. And so there's no value being brought to either side. And I think that was the biggest thing. And I think that's something that's been helpful about us not trying to necessarily, I know you have your own, but for me, it was a lot better and easier for me to have a partner in it.
Yeah.
so that we could split the load, because it's a big commitment to do these shows every week. A lot
It
of people don't
is.
realize it. Doing the actual show is easy. It's just the commitment to the time,
Yeah.
that's involved. Because we were talking, earlier, we spend, a good few hours a week on it, and that doesn't sound like a lot to some people, but to people who are busy like both of us are, 2 or 3 hours a week, that's a lot of production time that could have been spent on other things. But we're doing this, so yeah,
Right.
I think that was the point I was trying to make, was just like, if you can get that commitment down, that's generally the biggest challenge.
Right. Nigel has a really great point if you want to put this up on the screen, Nate. And then I know we're way over time. I'm good, but Nate's super busy, project heavy, so I want to make sure that I'm being considerate of my partner's schedule. But Nigel's saying, I'm always scared of the idea of taking a break. I'm always looking to keep my live show ongoing. I'm gonna answer this one real quick. So Nigel,
Sure.
you remember a couple of weeks ago, I was having major tech issues. Like, it's why I needed to switch internet. It's why I needed to go off the grid a little bit. It's why I was like, Nate, you're gonna have to carry me, because I don't know if this is gonna work. And luckily, the last couple Fridays it did. Maybe some glitching here and there, but it worked out fine. But you need to be able to, when you're a business owner, you need to be able to take a break. You absolutely need to. And you really need to understand that your loyal fans, your followers, your friends, they will come back. They will come back. But I mean, I'm taking 3 weeks, not a week, 3 weeks off the grid, because I need that time with my family. I need to just get back in my head. I need to focus so I can come back better and stronger. And I am a big proponent of that. You have to be willing to unplug and get off of some of the social media that you're on. Like, it's healthy. It's a healthy habit. And I mean, you can always tell people and give them the benefit of like, hey, just so you know, family and I are getting off the grid. We won't be around. I will not be posting on social media. And you set that expectation that you're away. And people get it. They understand. They understand that you need to be taking breaks and that you're not always going to be on all the time. But people find you. I will say that, that I've had people that, like, when I've gone on break, I felt like my engagement went up, because they were like, you're back. Yay. Okay. Back to the value. Back to the value. But Nigel, if you're like, I do this, I haven't had a day off, and it's showing, and you're not bringing value, and you're just ragged, take the break. Take the break.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. The thing is too, like, if you look at radio shows and broadcast television and stuff, there's always somebody that, and even on podcasts and things, there's always somebody that takes a break, and they have somebody come in to substitute for them. So if you're really worried about losing that, find somebody that you can bring on a couple of shows and talk to them, introduce them to your audience, and then let them just take over for a couple of weeks. Or maybe you pre-record some stuff. Or, there's a couple of different options. You might even do reruns. There's a lot of things that you can do to kind of fill that gap while you take that break. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's fine. You can always start up another little campaign, if you will, and rebuild what you had before. Not a huge deal, but yeah, be sure to take those breaks. Like, even me, I try not to take breaks, but I do anyways sometimes. A couple weekends ago or last weekend, it was sunny out for the first time like 2 weeks, and I just said, you know what, I'm not working this Sunday. I'm gonna take 3 hours off, and me and the youngin and the wife and the dog all played out in the yard and had a good time. And I cooked on my brand new grill. That was my reward for the year of COVID that we made it through, was I'm getting a new grill because I burnt my last one up.
Hey, there's another point Nate just brought up. Celebrate. Like, you got to add some celebration. Wendy even saying you need that time with God too. Yes, you need time. We're not, okay, remember what we said? You're not on this planet to work yourself to death. You're not. And I truly subscribe to, I'm living life. Like, I'm out. That's great. Miss me. I'll come back. I'll be back, but I need that time. So you're welcome. You're welcome, Nigel. Great advices. Thank you both. That's what he said on his comment. And Nate, I know we're way over time, but I just want to say how much I appreciate you.
Right back at you.
How much I'm grateful that you reached out and we started this whole journey and this whole experience together, not knowing what the heck to even expect. The trials, the triumphs, the tribulations, the what the hell is this?
we had a lot of broadcasts with like one person watching, and it was your daughter. So yeah.
Which she doesn't watch anymore. Darn that girl. No, she's in school.
She done gave up. Cut our viewing audience by 10%.
You know, what I like is that we're always showing up. People are coming, they're watching it, whether or not they're watching it live or catching the replay. Someone said this to me the other day, Nate, and it just like warmed my heart. He said, I don't think you realize the impact that you do make on people. Even if they don't tell you, you do make an impact, and you should feel good about that. You should feel good about that. Like you brighten their day, or, you know, I love that you chose yellow because every time I see our banner, it just brightens my day a little bit more. But I think you need to look at that, Nate, that we're coming on as personalities and brightening people's day, whether or not they're commenting or chiming in or whatever it is. Like, that's what I get excited about. It's like, okay, I'm going to just keep being me and showing up.
Yeah, I'm good with that. But no, I appreciate you too. Look, everybody, this show honestly wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for Tisha getting out there and booking guests. That takes a lot of effort. You know, I try to book meetings every day, and that's a ton of effort. And she makes it look effortlessly. So I'm gonna butter her up here a little bit, but I'm being sincere, I promise. But yeah, no, she does a whole lot to book interesting guests for y'all to listen to. I only take care of the technical stuff. That's easy. Choosing yellow wasn't a hard thing to do there. I looked at Ashley Bright's stuff and I was like, yes. That looks interesting.
Nice. Nigel put this comment on. Tisha and Nate, I gain weight when watching the show with all the food mentioned.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a hefty fella.
A hefty fella. And then Wendy, she said, thank you so much, Wendy. You two look good together. Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. That's so sweet. Thank you. Nate and I have never met in person, just so you guys know. We've strictly been remote this whole time. But I know that one of these days we're going to get together and I'm going to be eating some of that fried chicken that he keeps talking about.
You have to catch me on my good day. I'm not consistent at cooking it well.
You're not consistent.
No. I'm getting there. The first few batches, they came out soggy because I didn't get the grease hot enough. And then the second few were burnt because I cook them to a certain point. And I was like, well, they're not brown enough yet, but then you take them out and they keep cooking a little more. And so like the last few batches have really come out nice and golden brown. And my wife's been going back for seconds. So I'm considering it a win. My best win of the year.
I think of that as a win. I always ask the kids, is this a make this again or never make this again?
Yeah, exactly.
And we're like, it was good. Make it again. Even the healthy stuff that I make, I'm like, wow, okay. This is going down as a we make it again. Wendy, where is the chicken? The chicken's been kind of maybe we need to have like little chickens in the banner next time.
Maybe we need
to be like sending subliminal messages.
Yeah.
Casual Convo Friday with chicken. I like it.
That's right.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm gonna wind us down, but I just want to say thanks so much to everybody that tuned in and made us laugh today with your comments and your likes and so on. And Nate, always a pleasure. And I don't have champagne. I have decaf coffee, but I just want to say cheers to you, my friend. Cheers. Thank you for being a great partner. What are you drinking? Monster? Is that Monster?
Yeah, I'm trying to stay awake.
And I'm like, decaf coffee. I stay awake already. Yeah. And cheers to this first year down. And here we go. Ready for round 2. You guys know that March 26th we'll be back with Daria. She's coming on as our special guest. And I'm going to throw this out there. If you are watching the show and you're like, I love these people, I want to be a guest. You can always reach out to us. We're always looking for fun, exciting, interesting guests that can add some value to the show. So make sure that you reach out. We'd love to have you in season 2. And that's my spiel. But I just want to say thanks to everybody for making Casual Convo Friday the highlight of my Friday. Nate. Nate, anything else you want to add before we say bye?
No, I think you summed it all up. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Y'all have a great weekend and enjoy a break from us. You probably need a break from us as much as we do from you. I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
I was like, Nate,
Uh,
what was that we talked about? If you have something nice,
oh,
not
wait, you said
something nice
smile.
to say. I was just like, just smile. All right, everybody. Well, happy Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you back late March. Bye bye.
Absolutely. See y'all.